The great Charlie Munger passed away yesterday. If you do not know who he is, Charlie Munger was the right-hand man of Warren Buffett. If you do not know who Warren Buffett is, just Google it. It's one of the richest men in the world, one of the most successful investors in the world. And Warren Buffett has been saying quite often that the smartest man that he knew was Charlie Munger, and that a lot of his success was attributed to Charlie Munger. If you've been following me for a little while, if you remember this summer, I used to make a lot of videos I call this series the Think Like series, and I used to take great thinkers, great business person, and I applied their knowledge. And basically, I was talking about what we can learn from the way they think, and what we can actually apply to be successful in our own lane, which is Amazon FBA, right? And I've been wanting to make this video about Charlie Munger for a little while, but there's just so much things. If you want to look at Charlie Munger, I would recommend you to actually get the book Pro Charlie's Almanac, where he actually shares a lot of his mental models, right? Mental models is basically a way of thinking to make sure that you do not make too many. It's just a way of thinking, a way to process thoughts, process things that go through your head to actually understand the world better. Let's just call it like this. And so in today's video, we are going to look at 4 mental models from Charlie Munger that can actually help us in our Amazon FBA business. All right. Before we actually do, there's 2 links that are really important in the description. If you want one-on-one coaching, link in the description, you can book a call with me, look at my availability. We're going to build a plan for you to actually scale your Amazon business. Second link is a link to the Discord server. You can book a call. Join the Discord server because you need to network if you want to be successful in this business. You actually need to network. So best way to do it, join the Discord server, ask questions, answer questions, interact with people. You'll start meeting people and you'll start building a network. All right. So let's just dive into the video. There's a really cool quote from Charlie Munger, all right, which is, and I'm going to read it to you. It's, all I want to know is where I'm going to die so that I'll never go there. And it's a good summary of one of his mental models. But obviously, he was never able to actually know where he was going to die because he passed away yesterday. Rest in peace, Charlie Munger. But it's actually a great introduction to this first mental model, which is to be constantly not stupid and to stay within your circle of competence, to make the less mistake as you can, right? It starts with, I need to define what the circle of competence is because there's a lot of people that actually do not understand what it is. And I remember, if you know my story, I actually got my starting capital for this business by investing in an index that was, I made some profit by investing in an index that was USO. It was during COVID. And I remember, basically, if you do not know what USO is, it's an index that tracks the price of gas, all right, of petrol, of gas. And during COVID, if you remember, at the beginning of the COVID, the price of gas went down by a lot, and so it was quite easy to actually, if you are just a little bit smart, you know that the price is going to bounce back eventually, and so you're going to make profit. And I was able to make profit. I bought at its lowest, and I made a few thousand in profit, and this is what got me my starting capital. I actually started investing in private labeling because I was trying to find something to do with this money because I was bored. And this is how I got some success on Amazon, right? And I remember a lot of people, because I used to watch a lot of videos on investing, and I remember a guy specifically that was talking about the circle of competence and was talking about why he would not actually invest into USO. And his reason why that was that he was basically saying that you should not invest in stuff that you do not understand, all right? And because if you want to actually invest into USO, you need to know how to drill oil. You need to know how this whole thing works. The truth is that you do not need to, and this is not what the circle of competence is, all right? You just need to understand the economic of that thing, all right? For example, and this is what Warren Buffett's been saying. If you want to invest into a chewing gum company, you do not need to know everything about chewing gum, but like you need to understand the economics of it. And this is what he refers to when it comes to the circle of competence. Yes, of course, you need to know some stuff about the industry, but it's not that you need to have some innate knowledge about the stuff. You can learn about it, and this is going to transition into our next point. But you really need to start with the don'ts. And when it comes to Amazon FBA, starting with the don'ts is really starting with, the things. Starting with the don'ts means starting with what you should not be looking at, trying to avoid those things, right? As he said, if you know the place where you're going to die, just avoid this place and you'll never die, right? So it's the same thing for Amazon, just avoid what things that you need to avoid. Whenever, when it comes to sourcing, avoid buying bad products. This is the first thing that you should avoid. Avoid making dumb mistakes such as things that can get your account suspended. Avoid buying products that can lead to IP complaints. And you're going to miss on some opportunities, but you are in it for the long term, you are not in it for the short term. And so by avoiding these mistakes, you are going to be able to stay in the market longer, make more money, because compounding interest is the eighth wonder of the world. And it's all about time in the market. So if you do this, you're going to be able to stay in the market for longer, make way more money. And start with the don't. Look at the worst alternative and do not do this. All right. You win. I think a quote from the book is that you win tennis games by not sending the ball into the net and not sending the ball out of the court. As long as you do this, if you avoid those two things, you're gonna win points and you're gonna win games if you do it more than the people you are playing against, right? So avoid the worst alternative and you should be all right. All right. So that was number one. Number two, and this is something that you see a lot of people not doing actually, is if you want to be miserable, try to not learn. What you should do is not learn from other people's mistakes, only learn from your own mistakes, right? And there's so much ways. So for example, I have this whole YouTube channel talking about how to actually run Amazon and mistakes to avoid, right? If you want to learn, you cannot afford to learn everything by experience, all right? It's a really dumb way to do this because other people went through what you are going through right now before you, all right? So you can learn about it by reading a lot, by watching videos, by talking to people and by networking. So this is why you should join the Discord server. But you should you should learn, you cannot afford to make every single mistake in the books and get your account suspended, for example, 3 times and get 4 accounts before you actually start being successful. You cannot afford that. You cannot afford to buy losing products for 2 years before you actually start making money. You do not have to do it. Talk to people, learn, read what people are saying about Keepa, about all that stuff. Try to learn about the most thing that you can about Amazon FBA so that you do not make those mistakes, right? It's a really dumb way to learn. Let other people make the mistakes that you were going to make anyway, so learn from them and avoid those mistakes. You can grow faster, right? Best way to do it. Also get a mentor if you want one. Link in the description. Book a call with me. Number three. You need to become a Swiss Army knife, all right? You need to know about a lot of different things. This is basically what it means. The reason why you need to know about a lot of different things is because there's going to be application, not only if you want to be good at Amazon and at online arbitrage, you need to know about sales cycles. You need to know how to read data. You need to know about statistics. You need to know about simple economics, supply and demand. And there's a lot of other shit that you can learn from other domains that is going to apply to Amazon FBA, right? And so it's all about Charlie Munger really emphasized the need of being a continuous learner. You need to learn, you need to always learn a lot of things because there are some mental models that comes from certain industries. And for example, the simplest one is economy. If you understand economy, you are going to be good at Amazon FBA because you are going to understand supply and demand, and the price of leads with Amazon relies on supply and demand. If you understand basic supply and demand, how the supply and demand is affected by sales on different websites, or the supply and demand on Amazon is going to affect the price. If you understand all this, you are almost never going to make mistakes when it comes to buying products. The best way to actually make money is to avoid bad buys on Amazon, because bad buys are going to kill your profitability, right? So, best way to do it, you need to learn about a lot of shit, because you're going to learn some mental models from other industries that are going to apply. And I've been saying this for a while, and it's a quote from the book Creativity Inc., which is a book from the creator of Pixar, the founder of Pixar, and they said that they define creativity as the intersection in between ideas that do not seem related at first, all right? And so that creativity is going to help you. You know, if you want to be creative, you need to learn about a lot of stuff, and you need some creativity to be successful. It doesn't matter the industry, because you are going to have some ideas that there are some stuff that you cannot teach, there's some stuff that you cannot learn by yourself, but that you're going to need that creativity to actually figure out, and to actually have that competitive advantage, right? And it can come whenever you are doing online arbitrage, because you may have an idea, a creative idea about some way of sourcing, stuff like that. But even if when you transition to other business models such as private labeling, you need that creativity to actually, because most things are complex, all right? Most business are complex, and it's true for online arbitrage as well. You need to know a lot of shit about a lot of different things, and so knowing a lot of those things is going to help you eventually. You may not realize it, but this is why you need to keep learning every single day about diverse stuff, because this is how you are going to be creative, this is how you are going to have creative ideas, this is how you are going to have that thing that is going to click, and that you are going to start being successful. It's as simple as that. Let me see if there's something else I wanted to say about this. No, yeah, you just need to read a lot. And there's a quote from Charlie Munger that says, he said that he did not know any wise guy that was not reading a lot. And so this is why you want to be reading a lot, because this is, it's definitely correlated with, not necessarily being smart, but like being wise. You want to be someone wise, basically, all right? So you need to learn a lot. You need to learn a lot about a lot of stuff, and you need to read a lot. It's going to help you a lot, and also it's going to expand your sphere of competence. And so if you actually expand your sphere of competence, you are going to make less mistakes. You are going to make less mistakes. There's more stuff that you can get into without making mistakes, and so you can eventually make more money. All right. And so lastly, I wanted to talk about the checklist that he used when making investment decisions, because this is stuff that you can actually, this is something that you can directly apply to, because there's a lot of parallels in between investment and choosing the right products to buy, right? And so Charlie Munger has a specific checklist that he goes through whenever he wants to make investments, right? And so if I did not talk a lot about what he was doing, basically, if you do not know who Warren Buffett is, they own Berkshire Hathaway. So they used to own together Berkshire Hathaway. So the thing is, Berkshire Hathaway is an investment company, so they buy stocks basically to make it easy, and they allocate money into different companies by buying companies. And so, yeah, there was a couple of things that he was going through, a checklist that he was going through whenever he used to make an investment, to make sure that it was a good investment, right? The first step in the checklist is to assess risk, right? And so it's going to be the same thing when you actually buy these. If there's an investment that is more risky, it needs to return you more money. So if there's a lead that you assume is more risky, the upside should actually pay you back for that risk. All right, so you could buy a lead. This is why, like, you could buy, if you know that the lead is not going to tank, it sells super fast, you can get rid of the product fast, it's okay to go with 20-25% return on investment. But if a lead is actually risky, if it's selling a little bit slower, which means that it could tank, it's easier for it to tank, or it's a website that tends to tank, the return on investment that you want to expect should be way higher than that, maybe 50, 60, 70, 100%, depending on, that specific lead and those specific categories. But the more risky a lead is, the more money it should return, all right? The more risky an investment is, the more money it should return. The second thing is to actually think for yourself, all right? You actually need to think about that lead for yourself. It does not matter if people actually agree with you or disagree with you on that specific lead. You need to think for yourself and really understand what you think about that specific lead, about that specific investment. Is it worth it? Is it going to work? Is the price going to tank? You need to actually develop the skills to actually be able to figure that out by yourself. It doesn't matter if your friend is not it's not agreeing with you, it doesn't matter. You need to be able to think by yourself. Yes, it does not mean that you cannot listen to them, that you cannot ask questions to ask them what they think about a specific thing. They may make you realize something that you did not see on the keeper graph. They make another analysis, but you can compare the two and really start thinking and thinking further about it and see what you actually think about it. It's not because everybody's disagreeing with you that it's not a right call. For example, I have, I'm on a Discord server with a few friends, and we talk about all the leads that we buy. And so there was one lead that people were saying could tank, and so because of that, they did not buy a lot of it. And I was 100% sure that it was not going to tank. We did not agree on whether it was going to tank or not. And I said, I don't think it's going to tank for X, Y, and Z reasons. This is why I'm going to buy a few, and I'm going to buy way more. And it was one of the best decisions of the year. It was one of my best lead of the year, and I made a lot of money with that. Even though other people that also make a lot of money on Amazon were disagreeing with me. And the opposite also happens, right? I made some bad buy on products that I was sure of and that other people were not sure of. So you need to understand, you need to know, you need to learn to think for yourself. This is the second thing in the checklist, all right? The third thing, intellectual humility, and it goes back to what I was saying. You do not know everything about everything, and so other people may know more about it, and so this is why you need to keep learning about stuff, and you need to keep talking to people to actually make sure you understand a lot of stuff. And you may get advice from other people, but it doesn't mean that you should only listen to what other people are saying. You should also, as point number two was, you should also learn to think for yourself, right? But remember that you do not necessarily know everything, and so other people may actually be able to help you understand stuff in a way better manner, all right? Fourth thing is allocation, all right? You need to learn how to allocate not only your time, but your money in the right way. And what does that mean? You need to understand that there's an opportunity cost for everything. And so it goes back to what I was saying in yesterday's video with the prep center, with why you should actually get a prep center. But it goes with the leads as well. If you invest in a lead and you make 20% return on investment, you should know that there's other leads on which you could make 30% return on investment at this, instead of investing that money over there. And so the opportunity cost, it costs you 10% of return on investment on your money to invest into the 20% return on investment products than to invest into the 30% return on investment product, if everything else is equal, by the way. So you need to really understand the concept of opportunity cost, which you may not really understand if you've never studied economics and stuff like that. But it is whatever money you are losing by choosing a certain alternative, right? And sometimes it's okay to actually lose money that way because of risks, as I was saying, with the risk, because it's a worse alternative and you want to remove it because, for example, there's an IP complaint on that product. But it's the exact same thing with your time. You do not want to be prepping all day because it's a way lower return on investment task, and so it's better for you to actually outsource it. And so if you actually think for yourself, as I said in yesterday's video, and you do not follow all those dumbass on Twitter, you are going to realize that you do not have to prep yourself. It's actually a waste of money. All right, but this is what allocation is all about. The right before the last one, I think it's the fifth one, right, is patience. You need to be patient. And so just because compounding interest, as I said, is the eighth wonder of the world, right? So if you want to make money, yes, it's all about time in the market. Yes, you can make a lot of money fast, but really, and if you actually look at Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett, the real money is going to be made if you actually are able to stay for a long time in this business. Now, I know that it may be tempting to actually go for super risky strategies that make you a lot of money, but you just need to be patient, all right? You just need to be patient, wait for your money to flip, and keep reinvesting your money, and good thing is going to happen, all right? You do not chase the next shining object, because we see right now a lot of younger guys actually going to totally abandoning Amazon FBA and going to dropshipping. Do not change all that like this. Like, try to actually be patient, wait for your mint to flip, and you're gonna make a lot of money. All right, but just you need to be patient. And lastly, decisiveness. Right, the last step on the checklist is decisiveness. Good opportunity do not come often, and so whenever you have a good opportunity, you need to be decisive and say, okay, let's go all in. Let's go with this opportunity. Let's put our money into this opportunity, and you need to act fast, because as I said, good opportunities do not come often. Just like I was talking, the product I was talking about, where most of my friends were not really, did not really want to go deep in. This opportunity is an opportunity that only comes once a year, and it was the first year that we actually saw it. And so maybe it's not going to come. It's not going to come around next year, but I was able to make a lot of money with that opportunity because I was able to decide on the spot. You know, everything looks right. Let's invest into that thing because it's actually a good opportunity, and it was the best opportunity of the year. All right, I made a lot of money with that opportunity, and I wish that I actually bought more. All right, so you need to be decisive. You need to be able to say. You need to be able to say yes. Let's do it whenever it matters, because good opportunities are not going to wait for you, and there's only a few good opportunities that you're going to come across in your life. All right. This is not like one of those huge opportunities, but it was a great opportunity that only comes like probably once, twice a year. And so whenever it comes around, you need to be ready. All right, so this is what I wanted to say. Rest in peace to Charlie Munger. Thank you for everything that you taught us. And yeah, that's it. We lost a great man. So if you want to keep learning about selling on Amazon, watch this video. I have a whole playlist on the Think Like series if you like this series. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow for a new video. Thank you for watching.